Nobody was supposed to see what happened inside cell block D that afternoon. The warden never authorized it. The guards never reported it. And the 280-pound inmate who started it never spoke about it again. Not once. Not to his cellmate, not to his lawyer, not to the parole board that reviewed his case 3 years later. He carried the memory of those 4 minutes like a scar he couldn't show anyone. Because what Bruce Lee did to him inside that concrete room didn't just end a fight. It ended a reputation. It ended a belief system. It ended a man's entire understanding of what power means. And the 34 witnesses who watched through the reinforced glass window of the recreation yard door would argue about what they saw for decades. Some said it was impossible. Some said it was staged. But the 6 corrections officers who were there, who saw it with their own eyes, who filed no paperwork and made no official record, they knew the truth. They knew what they saw. And they never forgot it. Folsom State Prison, Represa, California. Tuesday, October 14th, 1969. 2:15 in the afternoon. The air inside the recreation building smells like sweat and industrial cleaner. Fluorescent lights hum above a concrete floor painted battleship gray. The ceiling is 22 feet high, steel rafters exposed, ventilation ducts running along the walls like metal veins. The room is 60 feet long, 40 feet wide. No windows except the narrow reinforced glass panels in the double doors that lead to the outdoor yard. Along one wall, a row of weight benches, iron plates stacked on metal trees. A heavy bag hangs from a ceiling chain in the corner, wrapped in duct tape where the leather has split. The opposite wall has a pull-up bar bolted into the concrete. The floor beneath it is worn smooth from years of boots and bare feet. This is where the hard cases train. Not the minimum security men, not the short-timers. This is where the violent offenders build their bodies during their 1 hour of indoor recreation. Today, 34 inmates are in the recreation area. Some lift weights. Some play cards at a bolted-down metal table. Some stand along the walls, watching, waiting, doing what men do in prison. Existing. 6 corrections officers monitor the room, 2 by the doors, 2 on the elevated walkway above, 2 roving the floor. Standard deployment for this population. These are dangerous men. Assault convictions, armed robbery, attempted murder. The kind of men who settle disagreements with shanks made from cafeteria trays. The tension in this room never drops below a simmer. But today there's a visitor. A special guest, approved by Warden Harold J. Cranston himself. A martial arts demonstration. Educational programming, the paperwork calls it. Inmate rehabilitation through physical discipline. The California Department of Corrections has been experimenting with alternative programming. Yoga, meditation, martial arts. The idea is to give violent men a structured outlet, channel the aggression, teach discipline. The warden is skeptical but willing. The state is paying for it. And the guest instructor comes highly recommended. His name is Bruce Lee. He's 29 years old. He arrived at 1:45 p.m. in a black 1969 Pontiac Firebird, accompanied by his student and friend Dan Inosanto. He signed in at the visitor's desk, had his ID checked, walked through the metal detector, followed the guard escort through 3 sets of locked steel doors, each one closing behind him with a sound like a vault ceiling. He's wearing black pants and a simple white cotton shirt. No uniform, no belt, no rank insignia. He looks like someone's younger brother visiting on a Tuesday afternoon. He does not look like someone who could survive 30 seconds in a room full of convicted violent felons. But appearances, as 34 inmates are about to discover, can be catastrophically wrong. The man everyone is watching isn't Bruce Lee. Not yet. The man commanding every set of eyes in the recreation room is inmate 4471B, Raymond Earl Briggs. Big Ray, they call him, sometimes just the Mountain. Raymond Briggs is 33 years old. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall. He weighs 282 pounds. Not soft weight, not fat. Prison weight, iron weight. Raymond Briggs has been inside Folsom for 7 years of a 15-year sentence for aggravated assault causing grievous bodily harm. The victim was a 230-pound longshoreman who made the mistake of insulting Raymond's mother in a Stockton bar. Raymond hit him once, one punch. The longshoreman's jaw broke in 3 places. His orbital bone fractured. He lost hearing in his left ear permanently. One punch. That was Raymond Briggs at 26 years old, before 7 years of daily weight training in a concrete box with nothing to do but get stronger and angrier. In Folsom, Raymond Briggs is royalty. He runs the weight pit. Nobody touches the bench press without his permission. Nobody uses the heavy bag without his nod. He once picked up a 200-pound man by his shirt collar with one hand and held him against the wall for 45 seconds while explaining the rules of the recreation yard. 3 guards watched. None intervened. They'd learned the hard way that Raymond Briggs in a mood was more dangerous than Raymond Briggs in control. Better to let him handle his business than to create a situation that required riot gear and incident reports. Raymond's arms are 21 inches around. His neck is 19 inches. His hands are the size of dinner plates. When he makes a fist, it looks like a cinder block wrapped in skin. He can bench press 425 pounds, 10 repetitions, no spotter, no hesitation. He can deadlift 550. He does 500 push-ups every morning before breakfast. Not because he's training for anything, because he has nothing else. The weights are his world. His power is his identity. In a place where everything has been taken from him, his body is the one thing that's his. His strength is the one thing nobody can confiscate. But Raymond Briggs has another reputation beyond his strength. He's a fighter, not trained, not disciplined, a brawler, a predator. In 7 years at Folsom, he's been involved in 11 documented altercations. 5 resulted in other inmates being hospitalized. 2 required reconstructive surgery. His fighting style is simple. He closes distance. He grabs. He hits. There is no technique. There is no strategy. There is simply overwhelming force applied by a man who is bigger, stronger, and more violent than anyone in the room. It has worked every single time. 11 fights, 11 victories, 0 losses, 0 close calls. Most were over in under 10 seconds. His reputation precedes him like a weather warning. Inmates from other cell blocks know his name. New transfers are told on their first day, stay away from Big Ray. Don't look at him too long. Don't sit in his seat. Don't touch his weights. Don't exist in his space unless invited. And Raymond Briggs has one more quality that matters today. One trait that is about to collide head-on with reality. Raymond Briggs believes with absolute certainty that martial arts are fake. Nonsense. Movie tricks. He said it in the yard. He said it in the chow hall. He said it to guards who practice karate on their days off. That kung fu garbage, he tells anyone who'll listen. Dancing. Pajama wearing. Bruce Lee and all them little guys on TV jumping around making noises. Put any one of them in here with me. 1 minute. I'll show you what real fighting looks like. The other inmates laugh when he says it, not because it's funny, because they believe him, because they've seen what he does to human beings with his bare hands, and because nobody in that room, nobody in that entire prison, has any reason to believe that a 140-pound man could do anything to Raymond Earl Briggs except bleed. The warden introduces Bruce Lee to the room. Gentlemen, this is Mr. Bruce Lee. He's a martial arts instructor from Los Angeles. He's here today to give a demonstration of self-defense techniques. Mr. Lee has worked with law enforcement, military personnel, and professional athletes. Please give him your attention and your respect. The inmates stare. Some smirk, some are curious, most are indifferent. They've seen educational programming before. Fire safety, alcohol counseling, GED tutoring. Another outside do-gooder who doesn't understand their world. This will be no different. Bruce steps to the center of the room. Dan Inosanto stands off to the side, carrying a training pad and a wooden practice dummy arm. Bruce addresses the group. His voice is calm, clear, conversational. "Thank you for having me. I'm not here to lecture you. I'm here to show you something. Martial arts isn't about belts and uniforms and bowing. It's about efficiency. It's about using what you have, your body, your speed, your mind, to protect yourself against anyone, regardless of their size, regardless of their strength." A few inmates exchange glances, regardless of their size. That's either brave or stupid in a room where the average man weighs 210 pounds and has a violent felony on his record. Bruce begins his demonstration. He shows basic Wing Chun techniques. Pak Sao, the slapping block. Lop Sao, the grabbing hand. Biu Ji, thrusting fingers to vulnerable targets. He demonstrates on Dan Inosanto. Fast, precise. The hands move like something mechanical, programmed, too quick to follow. Some inmates lean forward, interested despite themselves. The speed is undeniable. Whatever this is, it isn't slow, it isn't clumsy, it isn't what they expected. Then Bruce makes a statement that changes the temperature of the room. Size doesn't matter in a real fight. Speed matters. Timing matters. Understanding distance matters. A smaller man who understands these principles will defeat a larger man who relies only on strength, every single time. The room shifts. Inmates look at each other. Some look at Raymond Briggs. Raymond is standing against the back wall, arms crossed over his massive chest. His face is expressionless, but his jaw is tight. A smaller man will defeat a larger man every single time. Raymond pushes off the wall, takes a step forward. His voice fills the recreation room like a foghorn. Every single time? Bruce looks at him, meets his eyes, doesn't blink. That's what I said. Raymond takes another step. The inmates near him move aside. They know the body language. They've seen it before. They know what's coming. "You're saying you, right now, could beat me in a fight? I'm saying size alone doesn't determine the outcome of a fight." Raymond smiles. It's not a friendly smile. It's the smile he gives right before someone gets hurt. That sounds like a yes. Bruce doesn't smile. His expression doesn't change. His body doesn't tense. He stands the way he was standing, relaxed, centered, completely still. "If you'd like to test the principle, I'm willing to demonstrate." The recreation room goes silent. The card players stop playing. The men on the weight benches sit up. The two roving guards exchange a look. One reaches for his radio, then stops. Because Warden Cranston, who has been watching from the elevated walkway, speaks through the intercom. "Let it happen. No weapons, no ground fighting. The moment I say stop, it stops. Anyone who doesn't comply goes to solitary. Am I clear?" Raymond nods. Bruce nods. Dan Inosanto steps to the side, face tight with concern. He's seen Bruce handle challengers before, but not like this. Not a 282-pound convicted violent felon with nothing to lose and everything to prove. In a locked room, in a prison, where the nearest hospital is 40 minutes away. The inmates form a rough circle. Guards position themselves at 4 points around the perimeter. Raymond Briggs stands on one side. He doesn't take a stance. He doesn't need one. He's fought his whole life. His stance is standing. His technique is violence. His strategy is being the biggest, strongest, most terrifying thing in the room. He rolls his neck. His vertebrae crack like knuckles. He makes two fists. They look like wrecking balls at the ends of telephone poles. He outweighs Bruce by 142 pounds. He is 9 inches taller. His reach advantage is over 12 inches. By every measurable physical standard, this is not a contest. This is a man standing next to a boy. Bruce Lee settles into his stance. Left foot forward, right foot back. Weight on the balls of his feet. Hands up, open, alive, fingers slightly spread. Bai Zhang, the ready position in Jeet Kune Do. It looks casual. It looks like nothing. To the untrained eye, Bruce looks like a man waiting for a bus. To the three inmates in the room who have actual martial arts training, Bruce looks like something else entirely. He looks like a coiled spring. He looks like a loaded weapon. He looks like the most dangerous man they have ever seen. Raymond moves first. He always moves first. He surges forward, closing the distance with 2 massive steps, his right hand cocked back, loading a haymaker that has ended 11 prison fights. The punch comes forward like a freight train. 282 pounds of muscle behind it, aimed at Bruce Lee's head. Bruce is not there. He shifts 6 inches to the left, a small movement. Economy of motion. Lin Sil Di Dar, simultaneous defense and attack. Raymond's fist cuts through empty air where Bruce's face was 1/10 of a second ago, and in the same instant, Bruce's right hand fires forward, a straight blast. Jik Chung Chui, a vertical fist punch aimed directly at the center line. It stops 1 inch from Raymond's exposed throat. 1 inch. Raymond doesn't even see it happen. He feels the wind of it on his neck. The inmates closest to the action gasp. The guards on the elevated walkway lean forward. Raymond stumbles past, carried by his own momentum. He spins around. His face is confused, angry, humiliated. Nobody has ever made him miss. Nobody has ever been fast enough. He attacks again. 2 punches this time, left, right, brawler combinations, hooks aimed at Bruce's body and head. The kind of punches that have broken ribs and shattered jaws. Bruce weaves under the first. Bob and weave. The same principle boxers use, but faster, tighter, more efficient. He parries the second with a pak sao, slapping Raymond's forearm offline, redirecting 282 pounds of force with a 4-ounce touch. Raymond's punch sails past Bruce's ear. Bruce could counter. He doesn't. Not yet. He's showing something. Demonstrating a principle. Teaching. He resets. Steps back. Gives Raymond space. The message is clear. That didn't work either. The inmates are murmuring now. Low voices. Disbelief. Big Ray is missing. Big Ray can't touch him. This little guy is making Big Ray look slow. Raymond's face darkens. 7 years of being the most feared man in Folsom. 7 years of unquestioned physical dominance. And this 140-pound visitor is making him look foolish in front of the entire recreation yard. In front of men he has to live with. Men who fear him. Men who respect him because they fear him. If he loses that fear, he loses everything. He charges. Full commitment. Both arms out, going for the grab. If he gets his hands on Bruce, it's over. He'll crush him. Wrap those 21-inch arms around that small body and squeeze until something breaks. This is his move. The prison clinch. The bear hug. No technique needed. Just mass and strength and fury. Bruce reads it before it starts. He sees the weight shift to the front foot. Sees the arms opening. Sees the center of gravity drop as Raymond commits to the tackle. And Bruce does something that makes Dan Inosanto close his eyes. He steps forward. Into the charge. Not away. Into it. At the last possible instant, Bruce drops his level 8 inches, steps offline to Raymond's left, and delivers a gua chui, a back fist, to Raymond's right kidney as the big man's momentum carries him past. The strike is controlled, not full power, maybe 40%, enough to deliver a message, not enough to cause permanent damage. But Raymond feels it. His body registers it. A sharp, deep pain in his lower back that buckles his right knee for just a moment. He stumbles forward 3 steps before catching himself on the weight bench. He turns around. His eyes are different now. The anger is still there. But something else has joined it. something Raymond Briggs hasn't felt in a very long time. Doubt. The inmates are dead silent. 34 men standing in a concrete room, not breathing, not blinking, watching something they cannot believe. The guards have stopped pretending to be neutral. They're watching too. One of them, Officer Dennis Kang, a second-degree black belt in Jeet Kune Do who trains at a dojang in Sacramento on his days off, later described the moment to a friend. The big man had no idea what was happening to him. Lee was moving at a speed I've never seen in any martial artist, any weight class, any style. It was like watching a hummingbird fight a bear. Raymond comes again, slower this time, more cautious. He leads with a straight right, testing. Bruce slips it, moves outside the punch, and this time he counters. A lopsao, grabbing Raymond's wrist, pulling him off balance and forward. Raymond's weight works against him. 282 pounds of forward momentum with no base, no balance. Bruce guides him past, releases the wrist, and as Raymond stumbles by, Bruce delivers a sidekick, yup chagi in Korean, chek tek in Jeet Kune Do, to the back of Raymond's left knee. Again controlled, again precise. Raymond's leg buckles. He drops to one knee. The concrete floor cracks against his kneecap. He grunts, not from pain, from shock. He is on one knee, in front of everyone. The mountain is kneeling. Raymond gets up, fury and desperation in his eyes. He throws everything. Wild swings, elbows, a headbutt attempt, charges. For the next 45 seconds, Raymond Briggs unleashes 7 years of prison violence at Bruce Lee. Every technique he's ever used, every instinct that has kept him alive and dominant in the most dangerous place in California. Bruce flows through it all, slipping, redirecting, stepping offline. His hands touch Raymond's attacks like a man guiding water away from a doorway. Light touches. Pak sao, chut sao, the jerking hand. Bong sao, the wing arm deflection. Each contact costs Raymond balance, energy, dignity. Each missed attack takes something from him that he cannot get back. And then Bruce ends it. Raymond throws one more right hand, a desperate, exhausted haymaker with everything he has left. Bruce steps inside the arc of the punch, inside where the big man's arm has no power, no leverage. Trapping range. Wing Chun's killing distance. Bruce's left hand controls Raymond's right arm at the elbow, a Quan Sao, rotating arm control. His right hand rises, an open palm. Bill G, the thrusting hand. It stops directly beneath Raymond's chin, 1 inch from his throat, the same place it stopped the first time. Raymond freezes. He can feel the heat of Bruce's hand on his neck. He can feel the stillness, the absolute control. He knows, with the certainty of a man who understands violence better than most people understand their own names, that Bruce Lee could kill him, right now, in this moment. With this hand, in this position, Bruce Lee could destroy his throat, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that Raymond Briggs could do to stop it. Bruce holds the position for 4 seconds, the longest 4 seconds in that room. Then he steps back, lowers his hand, gives a small nod, almost respectful, almost gentle. Like a teacher who's made his point and sees no need to make it again. Raymond Briggs stands in the middle of the Folsom State Prison recreation room. His chest is heaving. His prison-issue gray t-shirt is dark with sweat. His fists are still clenched. But his eyes have changed. The fury is gone. The arrogance is gone. The certainty that his body, his size, his strength made him untouchable, that is gone. Replaced by something rare in a place like this. Wonder. He looks at Bruce Lee standing 5 feet away. Calm. Breathing normally. Not a hair displaced. White shirt still clean. This man weighing 140 pounds just made him, Raymond Earl Briggs, the most feared inmate in Folsom State Prison, look like a child fighting an adult. And he did it without causing any real injury. without humiliating him more than necessary, without cruelty. He controlled the entire encounter the way a surgeon controls a scalpel, precisely, deliberately, mercifully. The warden's voice comes over the intercom. That's enough. The room exhales. 34 inmates, 6 guards, 2 visitors, all breathing again. Bruce turns to the group, addresses them all, but he's looking at Raymond. That is what I mean. Size is a factor. Strength is a factor. But they're not the only factors. Speed, timing, understanding distance, economy of motion. These are equalizers. These are available to anyone, regardless of how big or small you are. Raymond speaks. His voice is quieter now, something unfamiliar in his tone, something that sounds dangerously close to humility. How did you do that? I couldn't touch you. Not once. Bruce walks closer to him, not cautious, not afraid, just walks up to the biggest, most dangerous man in the prison like he's approaching a friend. You're strong, incredibly strong, and you're brave. You committed fully every time. That takes courage. But you telegraph everything. Your shoulders tell me when you're about to punch. Your weight shift tells me where you're going. Your eyes tell me what you're aiming at. You're announcing every attack before you throw it. Raymond listens. Actually listens, which is something he hasn't done with another human being in 7 years. So what do? You learn to read, not books, people. Read their intention, feel their energy, respond to what is actually happening, not what you plan to do. Stop relying on what's always worked, because one day you'll meet someone it doesn't work on. Raymond looks at his hands, these massive instruments of violence that failed him for the first time, and that someone will be smaller than you. Bruce smiles, a warm smile, a genuine smile, almost always. The inmates laugh, not mocking laughter, real laughter. The tension breaks. Something has changed in this room, something fundamental. For 2 minutes, the most violent men in the California penal system watched a 140-pound martial artist dismantle their understanding of power. And instead of feeling threatened by it, they're intrigued. They want to understand. They want to learn. Bruce spends the next 40 minutes teaching. He shows them basic Jeet Kune Do principles, the straight lead, the 5 ways of attack, the stop hit, intercepting an attack with an attack. He pairs inmates up for simple drills, sensitivity exercises, footwork patterns. He corrects form, encourages effort, treats every man in that room with respect, like a teacher, like someone who sees potential, not criminal records. Raymond Briggs partners with Dan Inosanto. He's gentle, careful, his massive hands learning to feel rather than crush. At one point, Dan looks at Bruce across the room and gives a slight nod, the same nod he gives after witnessing something extraordinary. Bruce nods back. When the session ends, the inmates file out through the double doors back toward their cell blocks. Most of them thank Bruce. Some shake his hand. One inmate, a former Golden Gloves boxer named David Purcell, tells Dan Inosanto, "I've been in professional fights. I've trained with world champions. That man is something I've never seen before. He's beyond levels. He's beyond categories." Raymond Briggs is the last to leave. He stops in front of Bruce, stands there. This giant of a man looking down at this small visitor from Los Angeles. He extends his hand. It swallows Bruce's completely. "Thank you," he says. That's all. 2 words. But from a man who hasn't thanked anyone for anything in 7 years, it means everything. Bruce holds the handshake, holds his gaze. "Everyone has strength," Bruce tells him. "Yours is obvious. But there's another kind. The strength to control yourself, the strength to understand what you're capable of and choose not to use it. That's the strength that matters in here." Raymond nods slowly, releases the handshake, walks through the double doors. The steel closes behind him. On the drive back to Los Angeles, Dan Inosanto asks Bruce if he was worried at any point. Bruce is quiet for a moment, watching the Central Valley farmland pass outside the Firebird's window. He was strong, very strong. If he had connected with one of those punches, it would have been serious. But he couldn't connect, because he was fighting the way he always fights. And that's the problem with most people, Dan, not just fighters. Most people. They do what has always worked. They rely on what they know. They never adapt, never evolve, never question whether their way is the only way. And then they meet someone or something that their way doesn't work against, and they have no answer. Dan thinks about this. Is that what Jeet Kune Do is? The answer? Bruce shakes his head. Jeet Kune Do isn't an answer. It's a way of asking better questions. Don't be rigid. Don't be fixed. Be water. Water doesn't fight the rock. It flows around it. And over time, the water shapes the rock, not the other way around. They drive in silence for a while. The California sun is setting. Orange light across the Sacramento Valley. Eventually, Dan speaks again. Will you go back? To the prison? I don't know, Bruce says. But I hope Raymond remembers what he learned today. Not the techniques. The lesson. What lesson? That the strongest man in the room isn't always the most dangerous, and the most dangerous man in the room is the one you never see coming. Raymond Earl Briggs served 8 more years at Folsom State Prison. He was released in 1977 at age 41. During those 8 remaining years, he was involved in 0 altercations, 0 fights, 0 incidents. The most violent inmate in the facility became its quietest. He requested books on martial arts philosophy from the prison library. He read everything they had on Bruce Lee. When he learned of Bruce's death in 1973, fellow inmates reported that Raymond sat in his cell alone for an entire evening and did not come out for dinner. He never spoke publicly about October 14, 1969. But Officer Dennis Kang, who transferred to Folsom's Administrative Division in 1975 and reviewed historical incident files, noted that Raymond's behavioral record showed a clean break on that exact date. Before, 11 altercations in 7 years. After, none in 8. A man remade in a single afternoon by a lesson he never asked for and never forgot. 34. Inmates watched. 6 guards witnessed. 1 warden authorized it. 1 student worried. 1 giant fell to 1 knee. And 1 man, 140 pounds, standing in a prison recreation room in simple clothes with no rank, no belt, and no reason to prove anything except the truth, changed every mind in that building in 4 minutes. Folsom State Prison. October 14th, 1969. The day the mountain met the water. And the water won.